Hey everybody in ICTA land, this is Ed Jadlowski. Glad to see everyone out there. Unfortunately, we can't see each other in person this year, but I know everybody out there is working hard as teachers and coaches, and it's a very difficult year. We're making do the best we can here in my high school. We're in person, which I know some of you aren't having the opportunity to do, but things are going pretty well. Our kids are staying healthy and our teachers are staying healthy, and I hope the same thing for you. As we get ready for this weekend and we get ready for our convention, I hope you all will take away some valuable information. Certainly, ICTA has been something that I've done in my 30 plus years of education, and every year I come home with something new and something new that I want to explore. So I'm hopeful that all of you will do the same. Thanks. See everybody later.
Hello, I'm Lauren Morgan. I'm a speech faculty member at the College of DuPage, Department Chair of the Speech Communication Department, and your current ICTA Executive Vice President. I just wanted to take a moment to welcome you all to our first ever virtual convention. We need new people to come on board and to help us to continue to make ICTA the great association it is, to help support 21st century teaching and learning, and to be innovative as we move forward in this new landscape of education. You don't need any special skills or any special knowledge to become a leader of the association. And in fact, from my experience in having served in multiple roles, I can tell you that you will get back 1,000-fold what you give to the association. So don't wait. Don't let the pandemic stop you. I know it can be intimidating to look forward and take on a role, especially in these times, but I am absolutely confident that many of you out there have exactly what we need to bring ICTA and communication education into the 21st century. So join us. You can contact any board member via the ICTA webpage and let us know of your interest, and look for opportunities in the coming months to get involved. I hope you're having a great convention, and I look forward to seeing you again next year.
Hello, friends. I hope this works. As many of you who know me know, my technology skills are abysmal. So perhaps it is a blessing that I am just teaching a seminar class this semester with only 9 students, and it's a 1-hour class.
It is really hard for me to believe that I won this WP Stanford Award 10 years ago. But even harder to believe is that I have been an ISTA and ICTA member for 40 years. But to let you know a little bit about me, or maybe really for the people who know me to let you catch up on what I've been doing. So I'm Carol Robert Harms, and I retired from teaching at Belleville East High School in 2016, so it's my 5th year of retirement. And mostly I substitute occasionally at the local high school here in my hometown of Redbud, and I do a lot of volunteering.
I'm happy to be a part of ISTA 2020, a perfect vision, a great opportunity to look at the past, present, and future of the organization, as well as to see some of the best practices in teaching and coaching. While the year itself has been far from perfect, it's a year that we won't soon forget. It's definitely pushed us to see how we teach, how we coach, and how we interact with others through fresh eyes. As teachers and coaches, we have met with almost unprecedented challenges, from a pandemic which has emptied most classrooms, to a highly polarized political climate, to protests and riots across the country, to almost apocalyptic fires and floods. And no one can say that 2020 has been a dull year. Teachers, students, and coaches have met with more challenges than we could have imagined. And your vision for your teaching and coaching year has been tried, tested, sometimes twisted, but you've kept growing strong.
Hello everybody, this is Jeff Porzbillo coming to you semi-live from The Hatch. Those of you who are fans of the TV show Lost know exactly what I'm talking about. Other people might refer to my location as the man cave or the basement. I'm a professor at Harper College. I'm a past president of the Illinois Communication and Theater Association. And I think I've won one of these awards along the way. Very proud to have done that, but proud and happy to be here to welcome you to the conference this year. I think Brian Asbury and the rest of the board have put together an amazing pivot. Thinking about what message I wanted to share with everybody, it really came down to, the fact that ICTA, or as we now call it ICTA, really was my teacher training. I went to Northern Illinois University and studied communication. I went to Illinois State and studied communication, but I never studied education. And it wasn't till this really nice lady named Lauren asked me if I wanted to come to the ICTA conference back in the day, probably 24 years ago. Who knew in that moment that Lauren and I would be sharing our lives together? But she was one of the first people I met at ICTA, and it was really the relationships that I built at ICTA that I think made me the teacher that I am today. I got time at this conference to spend with my mentors like Judy Satacanarita and Connie Link and my wife Lauren Morgan, Elijah Wilson, Jan Heiting, and Doug Jennings. All of those people, I would sit around with them at this conference in panels and at lunch and at dinner and over drinks and listen to them talk about their teaching. And I was logging everything and then running back to Harper to try it in my classroom.
Essence of what we are and of what this convention is about. The exchange of ideas, meeting new people, and most importantly, learning from one another is still there. For me, ICTA represents and is kind of an embodiment of my professional past, present, and future. For me, being a Sanford recipient is certainly a cherished and profound recognition, but perhaps more importantly and more of an honor has been the ability to publicly nominate and celebrate people that I respect and people who have made me the teacher that I am. And that goes from, mentors like the wonderful late Phil Gray to the ultimate honor of presenting to your former students. Because for me, what I would really like to do is honor the organization, look at our past, our present, and our future, and really celebrate the organization. In particular, who I'd really like to acknowledge are the new members of ICTA, this new generation. Because for you, I think that for me personally, you represent the hope of this organization and the future. And I want to thank you because what you have done for me is you have brought light to this old lady who is in the twilight of her career when during these dark days, I think I've needed it the most. We all know, and we always have said that what we teach is so very important. Perhaps that's never been more important than it is now. So, to the past, the present, and the future of ICTA, let's have a great convention. Never underestimate what we do, what we teach has a profound and lasting impact.
I have always been a joiner, and it was kind of a no-brainer when my teacher, education coordinator at Eastern, told me back in the late 70s that as a young speech teacher, I should do two things. Number one, you always join the union or whatever teacher organization or association your district has, join it. She said, number two, you need to join the Illinois Speech and Theater Association. The thing is why? Why belong to this organization? For me, it was just a chance to, I was in a big English department at Belleville East, but not everybody really taught the communication classes. So I had a few people that I could network with, but it was great to go to the conventions and talk to people from other schools and even the higher ed programs and find out what was going on other places. That's where I really learned things. And I developed my Mary Poppins bag of tricks through ICTA. because face it, every teacher needs activities, we need ideas, we need new assignments to give. We're always looking for something different. And, in the days before Google, you had to work harder to find those kind of activities. But even today, it's great to be able, I think, to get ideas from other professionals, from people who, teach your thing, to find out what works and what doesn't work. It's certainly different, and it's something that none of us is used to. So I just tell you, thank you for being part of this convention this weekend. And I know, I don't have to hope, I know you'll get a lot of great ideas.
With the unique realities of 2020, it may be appropriate to look to another vision of ICTA and its mission for this unprecedented year. Through this vision, we can see ICTA continues to meet the needs of our members. I want to thank Brian Asbury, the ICTA Board, and the Convention Planning Committee for sharing their vision of a different type of convention that still meets the needs of our members. They have spent many hours refining their vision so we could all share and augment ours. While 2020 has not been a perfect year, you as teachers and coaches have turned obstacles into opportunities, your setbacks into successes, and your challenges into chances for personal and professional growth. Thank you all for being the light of optimism guiding students through these difficult times. You can and you do make a positive difference in the lives of your students and your team members every day. Never forget just how important you are. Your innovation, commitment, teamwork, and advocacy make you that perfect vision.
For about, I think it's been 25 years, and I can remember first coming to the conference and sitting around in the gifts room and listening to some of the old timers like Marvin and Tom and Bob Nylub and Springer, and just kind of sitting in the background in awe of the kind of things they were doing in their classrooms and their attitude towards teachers. And I'll tell you what, I absorbed so much of it, and I want to, my message today is to thank ICTA and thank all the people that I got to meet here and work with, because it is this conference, it is this organization, it is the people involved in it that made me the teacher that I am today. I always say adapt or die, and we are adapting, and I'm proud of everyone in this organization, and I wish you all an amazing conference.